Have you slammed someone before?
Yeah, no shit.
Does it hurt?
Do you want to find out?
What? You'd choke slam me?
I don't know. You a coward?
Fuck no, let's go. Choke slam the fuck out of me. Let's do this. So what? Yeah, all right.
Yeah, let's
Fuck
go.
it.
Bring it on.
Yeah, let's do it.
Wait. Oh my God.
I'm about to find out if wrestling hurts as much as they say it is.
I'm actually afraid now. I'm going to say boys will be boys, but Kayde has decided to be what? Choke slammed? Yeah. Oh.
Wait, I got this.
Oh.
Oh, that does hurt.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
That actually really fucking. I landed on the bike. There you go.
Holy
The table's broken. I need a new table. It's first. That's one of the other times people actually getting the clap right. What's going on?
Yeah.
How do we pronounce it? It's not Declan.
No, Del Cano. So just swap the L and the C around.
Del Cano. Ah, we've got a wrestler. Miss Samia. What's happening?
Amazing. Hello, Del Cano.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Dude, this is so sick. He's got the basket and everything. I love this so much.
Dude, this is sick for me, man. I love the design we got up here. We got a surfboard. This is dope.
Yeah, the old flounder pounder. I don't know how to surf, but it's all good.
Flounder pounder. That's
Got a bit of a Miami Vice type of feel, don't you reckon?
That's perfect for my aesthetic, as you can see. I am all Miami Vice.
Got a bag of Coke in his pocket. I'm still not giving this to fucking Jason, by the way, so I'm still keeping this. Thanks, Jesse. Love you. So what's going on, man? So wrestling, bro, that's hectic. Full hectic.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to start with your name.
Yeah.
That is
Del Cano.
Where did it originate?
All right, really hectic origin story here. just my mum's surname. Split in half.
That's sick.
So it sounds more exotic, but when I started wrestling, I was like, okay, I need a cool name. And my mum's always had this sick name with a Portuguese ancestry that I've always thought was really cool. Right. And so I was like, if I just split it in half, that will sound kind of cool. And here we are, fucking 10 years later.
That's insane.
What are the two separate names?
Oh, it's just Del Cano as one name.
Oh, amazing.
Is it kind of Mexican? I mean, not origin, but it kind of sounds Mexican.
Yeah, it's Portuguese.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. But you don't look Mexican, but you're dressing Mexican.
Oh, I'm the whitest motherfucker in professional wrestling. It is honestly
So who's dominating the game in Perth at the moment? Actually, one of the fucking funniest things. Wait, before the podcast, one of the funniest things that's happened. I was crying, man. Yeah, I hit you up and I was like, bro, can you bring the belt on? And you're like,
oh, this is so sad.
You're like, yeah, no, I lost it last night, eh? I was like, oh, fuck.
You literally messaged me the day after I lost the championship. Hey, bro, can you bring that belt? And I'm like, fuck, wound's still fresh. Thanks for reminding me, man.
That belt is something that...
beautiful, man.
I was at a wedding in Canada and they were obsessed with EPW, the groomsmen.
What, in Canada?
Yeah.
Sick. All right.
Well, okay, fine. It was WWE, but
I
don't want to.
I was like, wait, we have this fucking huge Canadian fan base.
You told me never to mention their name.
No, I said just don't say I wrestle for.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that, guys. I'm not very good at branding, but and they were obsessed. And the groomsmen, the whole item of the whole party ultimately was him coming out with a massive one of those champion belts. And all through the bachelor night, everybody was just throwing around this thing that's iconic.
I think that if I suggested that to my girlfriend for our wedding, I think she'd break up with me.
Yeah,
Do you reckon wear the mask?
Oh, dude, again, I want to actually stay with her.
Yeah,
so
okay.
I'm not going to wear the mask on my wedding.
Amazing.
So we, myself and my partner, we watched you at, it was actually quite funny. I had to send a shitload of paperwork to my work. Just what was it? Identification and a couple of documents and stuff. And Dominic, a guy I work for, he was like, hey man, can you get that paperwork to me? I need it by tomorrow. And I just sent him a message of the wrestling ring and someone diving off the front, off the turnbuckle and landing on someone. I was like, sorry, bro, I'm a little tied up right now.
I got more important shit to do, right?
Yeah. And it's insane, bro.
Yeah.
It's insane. The amount of, I did judo when I was younger, and then I did wrestling and MMA when I grew up a little bit. And then even Jackson with boxing and we always talk about that, but the amount of athleticism you actually need to do wrestling is a completely another different ball game.
Oh, there's nothing on earth like wrestling. Like, you've got the athletic side of things where, like you said, it's all jumping and flipping and lifting and running and rolling, and there's all this shit in there.
Yeah.
And then there's the performance side of things.
Yeah.
And that's a whole separate board game. So while you're worrying about all the physical shit, you also need to be thinking, all right, I need to be looking at the crowd. I need to be thinking, what is my character doing at this point in time? If the crowd's saying shit to me, I need to maybe be able to come back with something quick to keep them engaged. And it's just, there's all this different stuff going around.
Yeah.
And I don't think there is anything else that has all those different aspects tied up in one thing.
I can kind of relate to it when I did stripping, though, to be honest.
That's probably the
And
closest.
comedy.
That's probably the closest.
Yeah, because, you'd have to get your willy out at one point. But at the same time, you still got to remember sexy things. Otherwise, your willy just doesn't look that good when it comes out, So you're worried about, all right, cool, I've got to do this dance perform. Take off the shirt. Oh, here come the pants. Oh, no.
I think in any like entertainment related like industry, like even stand-up comedy, like it's just the amount of
100%.
adrenaline and energy that you expend, and it's so reactive and so subjective to the environment that you're in.
Absolutely.
I don't think people realize how many components of so many things go into play, but I think sometimes we as performers and entertainers, Kayde, like we also we underestimate the I suppose the come down drop afterwards.
Because that's
if
the
that
thing.
makes
The
sense.
second that you come out, you come out of the curtain and you're on stage, or you're on the floor. I don't know what the hell you guys say in stripping.
Yeah.
The second you're out, you're on. And you
Yeah.
have to be switched on 100%. And it's huge mental, physical exertion. So it messes with you as soon as you're backstage. It's okay, it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The worst is like sometimes in wrestling, you're on like in the first segment and you have a match and you need to do shit later on, and that kills you because you come back and you have that come down and then you cool off and it's like, oh shit, no, I
gotta do it
can't
again.
cool off. I need to go out in like half an hour again for something else. And it's
Or even just like, I'm ADD, so I feel like I'd be on the turnbuckle about to jump and I'd be like, fuck, I got to do my tax return. Hey.
Yeah.
oh, dude, if I didn't have my Dexies, I'd be fucked. I'm also ADHD and like,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about, I think, the journey. Like what was your backstory and where are you originally from and what led you to go into EPW?
Where am I from? Born in Melbourne, but like very much raised in Perth.
Yeah.
This has been my home as long as I can remember.
Yep.
And then when I was 12, one of my friends was into wrestling and he was like, hey, you should watch this thing. And all my friends are watching it. So I'm like, well, I don't want to be the non-cool one who isn't into wrestling, which is the opposite of how most people feel about wrestling. So I'm like, I'm going to be cool by watching wrestling. And it just hooked me. I can't even explain why. I don't even remember what it was, but kept watching.
Wow.
And then a year later, I found the local wrestling scene. And Perth has an amazing local wrestling scene. EPW, the oldest company in Perth, been going for 21 years.
Shout out.
Represent.
Yeah.
And it's a really high quality of live entertainment. So you go into that and like you guys know, you can watch a stand-up special,
Yeah.
but it's not the same as being there.
Yeah.
And so when you go to a live wrestling show, it's a whole different ball game and it hooks you in completely. So I knew from that moment, I really wanted to try make it into EPW.
Wow.
And I was not athletic in any way, shape or form. Like if people saw pictures of me as a kid or, videos of me trying to do sports, they'd be fucking shocked.
Okay.
So I had to work really hard to get to a level where it was,
So what does training look like?
Training's a mix of weights exercises as well as cardio and drills to kind of get the muscle memory down pat. So it's really multifaceted training, and it took me a long time to get to a point where I was good enough to be on shows. But yeah, just kept going, and now I've been blessed to do really amazing things with it. I've wrestled interstate, I've wrestled overseas, I've been involved as a trainer and as a promoter. So I've worn every hat you can really wear in wrestling, which is cool.
And
Yeah.
the scene in Perth? Is there like quite a scene here?
Yeah, we've got an amazing scene here.
Great.
So, sustained presence for over 20 years now. Our crowds, when COVID's less of a thing,
Sure.
we can easily hit 500 a show.
Wow.
It's running multiple times a year. And we have a really, really strong presence and a really strong name when it comes to the other states. EPW holds a lot of gravitas.
That's insane.
Gravitas, that's a word.
I imagine it. I
Amazing.
imagine it being similar to the comedy scene because my first experience with the comedy scene was actually with you.
Really?
Yep, it was. I was actually wanting to do when I wanted to set up this podcast, I put up an email just saying, hey, look, I love to find people that are ready to co-host because my thing is I enjoy funny people and like yourself, you got a really good sense of humor as well. And Samia hit me up and she was like, yeah, I'd be keen. And then eventually we had her on and now she's back doing again. We've been friends for a while, but all of the comedy scene had started to gravitate and just go, hey, yo, I'd like to give that a go. And you meet so many interesting people like from that. So I imagine similar thing might happen here where like a couple of guys might go, hey, look, that was really cool. That might be something. And it's just it's such an open community.
Oh, it really is.
You know what I mean?
The thing with the wrestling community is, at the end of the day, we're all the losers who are into wrestling who stayed in wrestling.
Yeah.
And like we've got, you're able to start training from 16. So we've got 16-year-olds all the way through to 45-year-olds. And the only thing that links us all is that we're all really passionate about professional wrestling.
Yeah.
And it's this amazing community where everyone really does lift each other up and try, help each other improve as much as possible because, you're only as good as your slowest member.
Yeah.
So if we're all at a higher level, the shows are at a higher level, people are better, everything,
I
everything
think
flows.
there's also another component to that. I think for me, it's like, I'm just comparing it to the comedy scene. I'm just friends with a whole bunch of people that I never would be.
I would love to know, like, if you lined up all the wrestling people in a row and said to, passers-by, how do these people all know each other?
Yeah.
That you would not have a clue.
And it goes back to that connection of like the hustle. So, I give up my weekends and all of my perceived like free time that I could be using to go out and hang out with girlfriends and go out for parties. We talked about this, Kayde, in our very initial podcast about how, you even pursuing doing this podcast means at the cost of so many other things.
Yeah.
But they're all like fun at a very superficial level that gives you a very fleeting moment of bliss. Whereas with pursuing something that's your passion, it's a grind that's only like subject to yourself.
Absolutely.
It's your journey, your passion, driving night after night, gig after gig, training 3-4 times a week. So when you meet people that have that similar, it doesn't matter where they're from, what color they are, what music they listen to, what culture they're from or whatever, what age they are, you just naturally have that bond and connection. Not like, to still say like there's heaps of assholes and heaps of fucking basic ass people, for sure. But there are those, like Joe White being one of my really good friends. Like, you then develop something a little bit deeper when you find that real commonality on top of this crazy commonality that you wouldn't find on a Tinder date, So do you like doing stand-up comedy?
Can you imagine we had to recruit wrestler through Tinder? That would be...
Oh, how would that look like?
Horrific.
That'd be so funny because there'd be a backstory for every different, you know what I mean?
And think of all the missed opportunities and the people who are swiping left. It's like, shit, I really thought that person had potential. Damn it.
I actually got a text message from Jackson. He was like, man, I'm so gutted. I'm not here. We miss you, brother. And I was actually saying to Declan before, I was like, man, when we get some free time, when you got your time away from your fight, or we get any free time, bro, we should do wrestling. We should try it. We should do one match. I think we should as a tag team.
We have open days every 3 months, so quarterly. Ooh. So if you guys want to come down, we will 100% be willing to beat the fuck out of you.
Hell yeah, bro, we're doing it.
EPW
we're doing
School
it.
of Pro Wrestling, that's what we do.
Yeah, exactly. Amazing. Just get smoked. We come in hell cocky like Wilkoz, well, bro. You got a wrestler and a boxer. You're in my ring now, boy. And then just get smashed with a chair. Like,
we all have southern accents as well.
What's going on? Are we in the medieval times?
I don't know. I'm
interested to find out a little bit about your character on stage, though, and how did that develop? You called him Declan, Kayde.
Yeah, I've been called Declan a fair bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's spelt weird on.
No.
Okay, I can't read.
Yeah, so my Instagram. My Instagram handle's Del Cano Wrestler, so it can definitely get mixed up. So that's all good.
No.
I forgive you.
Kayde just can't read because we've had a conversation about not calling him Declan, and he's already done it. Nothing pisses me off more than someone calling. Don't he look so
What do you mean? Oh, I got your name wrong heaps at the start. I was like, Samia.
He was calling me Samia, and I was like, I am not a diagnosis for fanny viruses. I'm not a pap smear.
That koala smeared that clap all over you, eh?
Fuck's sake.
Yeah.
So I'm really big on people
Chlamydia.
Cano. We apologise collectively.
It's okay.
He may not
Cano.
do it, but I will.
I forgive you all. It's okay.
If I
Cano
make
sounds like a decadent chocolate.
yeah. Hey.
Look, there's a merch idea for me. I just need to hook up in the confectionery industry, and then we're set.
If anyone knows that sells chocolate, give us a yell.
Yeah,
Probably have to go down
I'll
south
happily
for
lend
that.
you my name for your
Yeah.
chocolate brand.
Cano's a beautiful name.
Yeah. So the character is really just an extension of me. Like us talking here, it's very much who I am on stage. Like it's the mask just lets me be the person that I am without the anxieties holding me back. Like I was, like I said, I was a fat, unathletic kid. And so putting myself out there and going in front of a crowd and that shit, no, that would not have happened. So the mask originally was a way for me to kind of overcome that and be able to express myself while performing. Yeah. And then it just kind of became indelibly linked to who I am on stage.
Right.
So, after a while you start to build up a reputation and people are like, okay, there's Cano. He's this kid who he's had some good matches. So it just kept evolving from there. So who I am on stage is really who I am off stage. It's just that I've got essentially a safety blanket on my face.
I was about to say.
That allows me to not hold back.
But that initial taking that jump from the narrative that you fed yourself of who you were to wearing that mask and doing your very first ring.
What was that like?
How was that like?
Fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, Jesus. It was. So, it still hasn't, even now, I've had 270 something matches. So, I've done this a lot.
Yeah.
But even now, before I go out, I'm often, backstage pacing, back and forth, fucking, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
But that first time, Jesus. Because the first time, you get your family to come to watch because you're excited. A couple of your mates come to watch because, you want them to see. And I was an absolute wreck beforehand. And, I was rushing through everything because I was like, oh my God, I can't stop for it at all. And, you would both understand this as well from performing that you do need to take those pauses and you do need to let the crowd absorb what's going on. And I was just so scared that I was rushing through everything. So I'd probably hate to watch my first match back.
Yeah.
But it could have definitely gone worse. I didn't break any limbs, so that's a good start.
But I think everybody does. I think that's just the experience of doing my first ever stand-up as well. And the greatest thing about this journey, similar to wrestling, is that, no matter how good you think you get, there's always going to be a match or a gig that's going to fucking humble you. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Always.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
You're telling the same jokes.
When you've
think
bombed.
you've got it, and you're just like, "Fuck, I fucked that up. My last show was shit."
Yeah.
And that was a really shit way to end my solo debut because I was just fucking flying high, killing it. And then
Was the last one just not very good?
The last one was just flat.
Really?
And it was dead, and the audience didn't give me much, but maybe I got a little bit cocky.
Yeah.
Because I was just, getting on and just doing it. And I started inflating my ego a bit, with the amount of people that were buying tickets and coming to see me when other people were so it's, again, I'm not trying to make it about me. I'm just trying to say that this is, again, it's such a beautiful journey because it's always keeping us on our toes and it's always developing our sense of self and our character, and it forces us to look within more than anything. That no amount of therapy has been able to do what comedy's done for me.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's similar to you with...
I could not agree more.
Yeah.
You learn so many lessons through failures and also through successes.
Wow.
You learn through things that you think were going to derail you or were going to be a really big hindrance, and then you realize that from your natural reaction to it that, oh, actually, I'm better off than I thought. I was going to mention this earlier.
Yeah.
And then we got off topic, but I need to bring up this story.
Yeah, sure.
So I was having a match once and I'd been so excited. This had been built up for 6 months that I was going to have this feud with this guy. We were going to beat the fuck out of each other.
Yeah.
With weapons and stuff. And we'd built this story of the hatred of me versus him and it kept building up, and we planned this amazing match. We start the match. It's all going really well. The crowd's reacting really well. And the big end thing that we're going to do is I'm going to put him on the top rope and try throw him through a table, but he's going to counter it on me and throw me through the table. That's the big end thing. Jesus. Everything before then has gone absolutely perfectly. Fuck. I put him on top. I set up the table. I go up, and he goes to throw me, but he can't lift me up properly. So he's like holding me with my legs around his head, and my head's dangling up, and he's trying to. He just can't get the leverage to pull me up, and he's trying. And so he grabs my tights to pull me up.
No.
He grabs the skins I wear under my tights.
Oh my god.
He grabs the undies I wear under the skins under my tights, and he pulls.
Oh.
They all go up. I don't.
No.
So I'm hanging upside down in front of a single-seated 200-plus crowd of mostly children with my cock hanging upside down. And that should have destroyed me. But all I could do was laugh. I'm on the floor, and like he threw me down and like just angrily did a move to me and beat me, whatever. And I'm lying on the mat, and the ref comes to check on me. He's like, "Are you alright?" And I'm literally shaking like
laughing
because it's happened. I can't change that it's happened.
Oh,
it is what it is. Like
God.
you can't, you can get angry about it, whatever. But I realized at that point that I'd come to terms with not being embarrassed by something I couldn't change.
Yes, I love that.
And that is a completely different lesson from bombing and realizing that you're not top shit. This is bombing and realizing that that's okay. That's a completely different lesson.
That's so funny.
And if you didn't have that,
I would have loved to be there.
oh my.
Oh, dude, the amount.
That
so
is
I got backstage.
horrific.
So I got backstage, and I'm like pretending like I'm dead, but like I'm trying not to break out laughing. And the guy who's running the show comes up to me, and he wants to run this like family-friendly show.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And so he goes to me, he's like,
that is so funny.
I just need to know, did anyone see? I'm like, oh, they all saw it. Okay. And he's like, all right, cool. So he goes out and he does like an apology on the microphone. And I get backstage, and there's a TV that everyone watches the show on, like live feed. And everyone's sitting there and they're looking. I can tell they're watching, and they're all silent. No one's saying a word to me. My opponent, he's gone off. He's angry about what's going on and whatever. And all my mates are backstage. One of them stands up, walks up to me, and he's like, there are 200 people who, if you walked past them in the street without the mask on, no idea who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you walk past them without pants on, Del Cano.
Yes.
That's so funny.
That is.
What's the funniest bomb you've seen?
First of all,
Who got their cock out?
you don't. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. First of all,
Who got their penis
First
out?
of all, I have got to say.
Let's use correct terminology. Right?
Yeah.
First of all, I've got to say one comment on that, which is, but the thing is would little shy fat white boy that was fucking nervous all the time be able to have done what you just did? So give yourself a like. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is what I mean. I think that we forget to appreciate the growth that we have had as performers and entertainers and hustlers and doing the grind, because there's so much character development in what has happened from the time that you started to literally being hung upside down with your pink little balls like kind of flapping about.
All right.
Why are they
playing
pink?
like a little, I don't know.
That was a choice using
Don't white
adjectives.
guys
Yeah.
don't white guys have pink balls? I wouldn't know. I've never slept with a white guy.
Pink?
Is that another podcast?
We don't have
When I think of pink, I'm thinking of that pink, and I'm like, that's a bit worrying.
Maybe
that's,
if we
that's where you
slap
go
them a
get-
couple of times. But yeah, I don't.
then maybe.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I actually know.
What color are your balls, guys?
Depends. Have I just pinched them or not?
No, like if you just took your pants off right now.
I suppose flesh coloured.
Really?
Yeah, I'd probably say like
Not beige. That's after we're dead.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, if it was
How do you
if
describe
you
the
died,
colour?
it'd be the color of a kiwi fruit. But
Peach, maybe peach. Jesus.
I don't know. I haven't looked at the bottom of my balls lately.
Yeah. After you've dyed the same color and texture as a kiwi. It's,
Yeah. The top's purple though.
Yeah. I mean, I compare that to a fucking one of my very first ever massive bombs, and it just killed me. And I was almost, and it was really embarrassing because it was just, like what I felt was that I killed this competition, and then I got ahead, but I was very new to the industry, and I was against all. It was a Red Bull competition, and I was against all very prominent comedians in the industry, and so everybody that was anybody was there. So it wasn't just some open mic night. And I got on stage, and none of my jokes were hitting, and it was a dead silent crowd. And then I ended up getting angry because now I understand my persona, and now I know how to keep my cool 3 years later. But this was in the very beginning when I had no fucking idea. And I started getting very angry with the crowd, and I started swearing more, and I just came off as this really angry, bitter person that's so inauthentically me.
We saw that happen when we watched the last show. Not you, but another lady that did a set on the last one we went to, where we saw the Caterpillar guy. That same thing happened to her.
Yeah.
Someone was talking in the front, and then she was like angry at those people and then couldn't bring it back.
Yeah.
So I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I was a baby in the game. So when I had that, I didn't have that level of awareness. And I went off comedy for like almost 3 months. I was so embarrassed. And I had this, and it affected me. Like every day I woke up and I was just like, fuck, I was so bad. And it was such a horrible feeling, and it was such a sinking feeling. And then it came to a pivotal point where I decided, well, what am I going to do about it? And then I jumped back on the game, and then I really had to think about like my I guess my identity on stage and what I wanted to represent. And that was fierce, and that was feminine, and that was classy, and that was sassy, and that was, fucking single and owning it rather than hating on it. And there were just all these areas. And honestly, if I didn't have that bomb, I don't think I'd be where I was today.
Yeah. No.
I still have bombs, but it wasn't as like fucking dropping a penny, you could hear it from China, silent as that bomb was, bro.
Was it bad?
It was, oh my God.
It's all formative. It's
my
all
looks did nothing that day, I can tell you that. Fucking hell.
The funniest thing I've ever seen happen on stage, and I'm like I've had a few bombs where you just get like regular bombs, you get like a dud hen and you rock up and you got the horny best mate who ordered you, and then like you just got the one hen that's like, get off, and you're like, shit, this sucks. Like that sucks. I've been in one where I was in a karaoke room with all these Chinese women that didn't speak any English and didn't understand what I was doing.
How did they hire you?
I don't know. The horny mate. It's always the horny mate that will hire you. And I was just like, this isn't the bomb that I saw, but like this is just an example because I haven't said this on the show. We were in this like, those karaoke bars, and there's just all these Chinese chicks and there was no space. There's like a table, and then like I swear, I mean, it wasn't at the time, but I swear it was like 40 women in this tiny little shoebox. And I'm like trying to do this like magic mic routine. I can't do it because there's nothing to grind on the ground. So I ended up just like, because I did this like little dildo trick at the end. I used to have 2 pairs of undies. I'd blindfold the girl. She'd take off one set of undies and think I was completely naked. And then I'd have this like dildo, and she'd like grab it and be like, fuck. And that would be the end of the show. But what turned out, it's just like, fuck, I had to make this funny. Like I just kind of had the dildo in my undies, and I was just running around the room chasing all these Chinese women. And they're like, oh no, don't get me. Like it was really funny. And sometimes you had to revert into stand-up when shit would go wrong. So you'd have to crack jokes.
Yeah,
and
I'm sure that stand-up would have worked better with these people who didn't speak English.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you just have to, like, when the situation's that dire, like you just have to run with it. And even when they're like not feeling it, if you're really funny about it, they're usually cool. But if you start being like, nah, like just go like hell meatheads, like you girls don't know what you're missing out on, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
right.
It's not going to work for you.
Wow.
But anyway, so the best bomb, and now I've been thinking for a while, I shouldn't say it, but I'm not going to name names because I don't know. From what I remember, he was actually really cool about it, and we all laughed it off. And I don't know, I won't name a name, but fuck, it was funny. We backup dance for this real pretty guy who we did a show recently, and myself and my buddy would come out, and we were doing backup dancing for Harry Styles, like Harry Styles music.
Oh, okay.
So we'd come
Harry
out.
Styles.
I was like, you just dropped that really
Yeah, no. Harry, what am I, sugar high? Nah, and like we were there, and we back up dance, and we do this thing, and then he comes out and he actually sings but it's lip synced, right? And poor guy, he's actually deaf in one ear.
Oh, Jesus.
And the mic was on. So he came out, and it was a big crowd, and he came out, and he was just like, and he didn't know the mic was on, and he sung his heart out, and it was like, "This is the worst world," like just how loud, bro. And all of us were like, "Oh fuck!" and just ran out on stage, and then just turned the mic off. We're like, "Dude, oh fuck!" And then we ran out backstage. I was like, I thought I was convulsing. I was laughing so hard, like, because it was so sad but so funny at the same time. I was like, I shouldn't be laughing at this, but what happened?
What else can you do then?
So funny.
That's amazing.
But he was cool about it. He had a laugh about it. I thought he'd be a real devo about it because he didn't like me giving him as much shit as I did.
But isn't that okay? But guys,
it is funny.
I swear to God, if we just laughed more at our pain or laugh more at our shit, wouldn't it just be so much faster to get over shit?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The more you stew on shit and the more that you think of, what if I'd done this differently? Or it doesn't matter. It's over. It's done. Like, all right, cool. It happened. Haha. Move on.
Yeah.
Everyone's better. Everyone's happier.
Yeah.
100%. There's nothing to be gained by stewing on something.
No.
So this is actually pretty interesting, man, because you're a very wise guy. Like you're very a lot of people that actually I've been quite lucky. A lot of people are actually quite deep that do these podcasts because they're more creative people and they're actually genuinely more and emotionally intelligent and stuff, which is something that, and socially intelligent, emotionally intelligent, something that you're very you seem very good. But I actually kind of I want to talk about like your wrestling and like your inspiration from like who did you like in WWE and like where did you learn how to do the flips and like all that, like, you know what I mean, for people to be like, it's a wrestler, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no worries.
So I dropped a bomb, Ultimo Dragon, and you're like, what?
Dude, that got me so hard, man. When you said Ultimo Dragon, that's just such a weirdly obscure like for like a Western audience. It's like a really obscure wrestler to be into.
Was he a Japanese guy?
He was a Japanese wrestler who learned the Mexican style.
Yeah,
and then got really big in Mexico, which then made him big again in Japan, which then brought him over to America. And so he's had this super varied career. So yeah, those kind of guys, the guys who blend the style, those are the ones that I tend to take inspiration from the most because American wrestling is very different to Mexican wrestling, which is very different to Japanese wrestling, which is very different to British wrestling. And so when you take influences from each of them, the guys who really mastered that are the ones that I tend to follow. So the guys like Eddie Guerrero was a huge one. Yeah. Chris Jericho was another huge one. Those kind of smaller guys who had spent time in Japan, so they hit really hard like the Japanese wrestlers do, but they also spent time in Mexico, so they understood how to implement the gymnastics into their routine, and then they went to the States, and so they had that bigger than life showmanship character, and so those are the guys that I've always kind of really been drawn towards and tried to emulate.
So how athletic is, because my favorite wrestler of all time was Rey Mysterio.
Oh, dude, he's greatest of all time.
Yeah?
In terms of lucha libre, which is the Mexican style of wrestling, he is, by my standpoint, the greatest of all time.
Yeah, right.
He changed what American wrestling was to make it more in line with what was going on in Mexico.
Yeah, okay.
And he's still going on, man. He's like in his mid-40s. He's been doing this since he was 14.
Wow.
Like he's insane.
Some of his stuff he would do was mental, hey? Like, I remember in the video game, he used to do a forward flip off the ropes and then jump on someone and then flip backwards and they would do a somersault and you'd pin them.
Yeah, Dragon Rana.
Yeah, and then later, like, he would just kind of jump off and land on them because it was
because he was old and had, 7 surgeries on his
Dude,
knee.
I did one lunge yesterday and I'm in pain today. One. It is an incredible level of talent and skill that you have. I will just say that now.
Thank you very much.
It is agility. Dude, what I just fucking said. I did one lunge. I went to half a body pump class. I couldn't even stay the whole time and I'm in pain today. Like, you guys it takes an exceptional level of discipline. At what cost has that been for you though?
Shoulder reconstruction, multiple.
Jesus.
Yeah, good fun.
What?
Personal and professional. Like what else? Like not just technical and emotional is probably the right words.
Technical and emotional. Jesus.
Well, Kayde wanted a co-host. I was going to ask the
You got to ask the questions rather than me just being here like, do you want to smoke weed?
All right, let's start with emotional because emotional is always more fun. A constant sense of imposter syndrome is a huge one. Kind of the feeling that.
What does that mean?
Wow.
So whenever someone compliments you and compliments your work, you think that they don't actually know the real you, and you think that what they're saying is not deserved and is more deserved to go to someone else. And that's something that, as I've kind of gained more respect as a senior wrestler, and more people saying that, give me responsibilities as a trainer and responsibilities here and there, the more nice shit people say about me, the harder it is for me to accept it. I'm always presuming that there's someone who deserves it more than me. And that is a huge emotional drain.
Like that ASAP Rocky thing that you commented, and you said it was fire when he said, since when is it not cool to try? How are you going to hate on people for trying?
I don't think that's it at all. I reckon I know exactly what you mean about imposter syndrome is when people are, I reckon even at celebrity level.
Yeah.
Highest level ever, right? There are people that just think I feel very undeserving of all of my stands.
Yep.
I've spoken to a therapist about imposter syndrome. It's a very specific terminology, Kayde. Like it's about people.
I would have had that when I was on The Bachelorette. When people like, yeah, man, I saw that shit on you. Like, did you watch it, bro? Like, you know what I mean? Like, same kind of thing. Like when people would be like,
"You're on The Bachelorette."
Yeah, I was on The Bachelorette. Well, don't worry about that.
Kayde, you're not understanding imposter syndrome.
No, but what I'm saying is when people would feed me compliments by it, I wouldn't take it seriously. I'd think they were kind of taking the piss.
No,
or am I still not getting it right?
You're still not getting it right. Imposter syndrome, the Bachelorette isn't something to get imposter syndrome about.
Okay.
The accolades,
That
it's not.
That
it's
better
bullshit.
be the tagline of this episode.
It's not. It's not. It's bullshit. Like it's just a fucking, you were lucky you got there. But it's just a dumb reality TV show, right?
Yeah.
It's true.
No, I know what you mean.
Yours is more your accolades of like how far you've come from like this, like, the things that you have gone through. And like you're a very established, successful, very intelligent human being that has a lot of like an incredible amount of depth and substance, right? And so for you, sometimes it's just like, oh, fuck, did I just get here by fluke? Or when people really find out the real me, they're not going to think that I'm good enough. I'm not worth enough.
Oh.
So I need you to understand the concept of imposter syndrome.
Okay, now I kind of get it. Yeah.
So it's not about superficial shit, bro. Like we're deeper than that. It's not about I went on The Bachelorette and all my friends are like, oh, you're so cool. Like fuck that. Like we all do cool shit. You go on stage every weekend, so do I. Like I don't think that. I think it's more, oh, I've got an amazing job. I've got money in the bank. I'm, get really respected at work. But really, if they find out I don't know how to teach fucking long division to the year threes, then they're going to know. It's that imposter. Yeah. You think you're getting away not based on your merit and skill and qualification.
Right. You almost feel like you don't deserve to be there.
You still think you're not good enough. That's
you feel like you don't deserve to be there, even though you are there.
I had to clarify that.
No, you're right. You have to because now I'll know what it means.
Yeah.
I'd never heard that phrase before ever.
Yeah.
That's hard.
So I guess like when you've made something of yourself and people give you a compliment, you kind of feel like you were there by chance or circumstance, not.
Or if someone, like I had my birthday yesterday. And
happy birthday for yesterday.
And like, you get all the messages from people, and then you get the people that you've helped train, and they're like, thank you so much. You're one of the nicest people that I know in wrestling. And I'm just like, oh, but I'm not actually that nice.
Yeah.
There are so many nicer people who are more genuine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
It takes away a lot of the joy, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah, and it takes away a lot of the appreciation. But if you flip that narrative, you can also look at it as keeping you humble, keeping you grounded, and keeping you striving for more, and keeping a challenge there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, imagine if you were like, yeah, Samia, like I'm so fucking cool. I'm like a wrestler at this level where most people can't even get whatever. I've done 270. It's what makes you it's what makes you a beautiful human being, essentially, really. You're probably like, oh my God, this is imposter syndrome right now.
No, I'm wearing a mask. I'm wearing a mask. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm beautiful.
Do you know what I mean? I think everyone
steals
has
my laptop.
You would have it. You would have it about something, right?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Like it's Yeah, I do know what you mean. I think even with starting this podcast and people are doing, oh man, you're doing really good things. You're really, you know, you're chasing it and it's good. And then you look at some YouTube videos don't get as many views as you thought it would, or like your Instagram post doesn't do as well. And you're like, you know, it could be better. Like it's just, I know what you mean.
I'm not actually doing that well. And then
you're giving
they're saying how well you're doing. You're like, oh, but I'm not doing well.
Yeah. But you got to remember at the end of the day, you set an expectation because you might be a high achiever. And I think everyone in this room definitely is. But the fact is that you kind of got to go, okay, well, I'm not there yet, but I will be. So watch this. And then take it on the chin and be like, yeah, fuck yeah, I deserve to be where I'm at.
I think it's different now for me. I think it's more about enjoying the journey.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's ever an end.
That's kind of where
I think Fringe Festival was a real eye opener for me because it was my first solo shows and it was a big deal in a lot of respects. And I just realized that, you know, I've got to stop trying to be like, I need to make sure I sell out every show. I need to make sure everybody wants to come. I need to make sure I'm prominent on social media or whateve. I've got to stop fucking caring about bad online reviews. And, you know, I was really like a roller coaster for me. And then as soon as I've come out of that and have had a month to reflect on that whole journey, I've realized that no, next year I'm just going to enjoy the process a little bit more and just not focus so much on the result.
Yeah.
Because we're never going to get there. For people like us, our mentality is to be quite high achieving. You're never going to get to the point, you know, Cano, that you fucking want to, that's it, you're done. You're going to want to be world level. You're going to want to be traveling everywhere. You're going to want to be, you know, like a stampede in the industry, like not just a name.
You said you wanted to be Australia based, didn't you?
Yeah. So like my goals, I'm not in wrestling necessarily to make a living out of it because I've never been all my eggs in the basket person.
Yeah.
Because there's a level of anxiety related to that. Like if I put all my eggs in the basket and I fail, oh no, that's bad.
Yeah.
But I've reached some goals that I never thought I would reach. Things like wrestling overseas. Like that's fucking mental. I did a tour of Europe a few years ago. That's fucking insane.
That's mental, man.
And so like,
amazing.
You know, there are certain things that I want to do before, you know, I have to give it up. Like once my body says, nah, it's over.
Yeah.
You know, I want to have wrestled in certain places. I would like to have wrestled certain people. There are things I would like to have done, but it is more about the journey overall. And at the end of the day, the thing that I've always said is that I want to be able to honestly tell my kids, grandkids, whatever, that if you love something, do it.
Yeah, okay.
And I want to be able to I want to be able to lead that. You know, I want to have led a life where I've done enough of the shit I love that I can honestly pass that on to them, and they can, you know, look at me and say, "Oh, he actually meant it."
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful. You're very clear on that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. And you got to make sure your kids know, hey, this is entertainment, but the stunts are real. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
you know, your
To
kids.
fall off a 20-foot ladder is what I want to know.
My best mate and I, Jared, we went through our wrestling stage. We used to do performances for my parents, and I'd always win
You were
because I was
about to say like a theater or something, and you're like,
No.
my best mate and I went through performance, and you used to perform for
toured
my parents.
We toured the greatest concert halls this side of the Mississippi.
The lounge room
beat the great Carly and
on a
shit.
Sunday night.
Yeah, no, we'd jump off fucking ladders and shit. My parents would be like, "What are you doing?"
Oh, mate, I went through like a fair few years of backyard wrestling. Which is
Yeah.
where I learned how to do a lot of the flips and shit because it's like, I do not recommend anyone to
Nah,
do backyard wrestling
don't do it.
because there are so many places where you can learn how to do it properly. But I was a fuckwit, so I did it.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, the dumb shit that we used to do, like jumping off ladders and fuck, it's so dumb.
I put Jared in a wheelbarrow and tipped it over. It was pretty cool. We also learned one where I kicked him, he bent down. I put my legs over his side and then like rolled him around and then like pinned him that way.
Oh, sick, yeah.
So we were actually getting like real into it. And then we just got into other shit. So then we'd be into BB guns, and then Jared and I was stripping at the same time. So we knew each other when we were 3. And we started stripping like later in life, but that's a story for another
I just
time.
said later in life.
Oh,
that
not
your
that time.
cousin?
No.
Is that your cousin?
No, my best mate.
Oh, how cute.
Yeah. So if you could wrestle anywhere, would it be Mexico? Like where would it be?
Yeah, the 4 places that I need to wrestle before I retire
Yep.
are North America,
Okay.
Mexico, Japan, and the UK.
Okay.
I did the UK.
Yeah. Okay, so that's one off the list.
Yeah, I was slated to maybe do something in Japan April 2020 before the world started imploding. So hopefully we can get back on track.
Yeah.
And yeah.
How has COVID affected, I suppose, performances and even the industry?
Perth, thankfully, not as much as everywhere else. When it first started, we had to take a few months off like everywhere else did and then kind of slowly transition back into full training. But, you know, we've been able to run more shows really than most places around the world. So it's constantly changing. Like right now, we've got the level 2 restrictions. So we will have capacity limits at our venues, which is, you know, it is what it is. But we're still able to run, which a lot of places had to cut off completely for a year or more. So
Yeah.
we got very lucky.
Very lucky. God, we're at a bubble within a bubble, aren't we, guys? I totally go off topic, but fuck, I'm a bit anxious about what's about to happen
Nah,
with
let's
the
have
numbers.
some fun. Let's open up.
You reckon?
Yeah, let's go.
That's your view?
Look, I think
You might get to wrestle John Cena if that happens. You know what I mean? Never know.
dude.
You're just done.
What about the memes and shit? Do you like the memes? Make sure you're chatting to that mic though, bro.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
all good.
So I actually went to school with Troye Sivan. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. So he's like pop star, actor, whatever. So I've known him since I was like 4.
Yeah.
And he ended up going on like the Today Show or Tonight Show, whatever, at the same time as John Cena. And John Cena gave him like the FU on the fucking show.
What?
And I'm just like, Troy,
The FU.
who has never done any wrestling, has gone further in his wrestling career than I ever will.
No way.
Oh, dude, I remember just being like, this is bullshit.
Yeah. How did they throw him? What did he land on? Because
He went like off stage, so I'm sure there was like some.
It was like a
crash
mat
pad,
or
whatever.
something, yeah.
But I remember watching it. I'm like, this is bullshit. This is such bullshit.
I love the memes of like Randy Orton like stalking and then he just RKOs everyone. Like
nowhere.
I went through a stage of RKOing Sinead, like just randomly, like she'd just be by the bed and I'd be like, RKO, and that's why our slats aren't in the bed. So, yeah.
So good.
When her mum helps us move the house, she's like, all these are broken. I'm like, yeah, they are.
But the hazards are real.
Yeah. But the stunts are real. So, yeah, so your favorite wrestlers would be who else? So you said Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie Guerrero, Chris Jericho. Always love Rey Mysterio.
Yep.
Shawn Michaels.
Yep.
So yeah, the smaller guys who integrated the flips into their wrestling, I always identified with. And yeah, all the flips and stuff for me were all self-taught. It was me and a mate fucking around on a trampoline in the back garden and like learning how to move our bodies around so that by the time I got to training, I knew how to do them, you know? And
What about like flipping into people over the tightrope? Like that mat outside of the ring, is that painful to land on?
oh, there's no mat outside the ring. It's just
Yeah, it's like
wood floors.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was like a sponge
There's
type.
definitely a mat. You can't.
Not on the
you
outside.
Can't be,
Inside the ring, like, so the ring setup is, you know, there's wood and there's steel and there's like a very thin mat. On the outside of the ring, dude, it's just the floor.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because in WWE they got like a pad around, and then they got like. But I saw you. Did you guys wrestle at Fringe?
Not at Fringe, no. We were at the Royal Show.
Royal Show, yeah.
We didn't do anything at Fringe.
We Sinead and I were going to go. We went to the Royal Show, and she was like, "What do you want to do?" I was like, "Let's go watch the fucking wrestling, bro." Like, and my ego's like hell ticking off. Like, I was watching the wrestling, and I was like, "Fuck, I'd love to do this." Eh? Like, that dude's pretty jacked, Dave. I reckon if I went to the gym, I could.
Why don't you?
I want to. I do. I reckon that'd be sick. Yeah, but I'd do it with me and Jackson in a tag team. That'd be mint. That'd be killer,
Done, man.
I'd love to do that. Eh?
Follow the EPW socials.
Yeah.
We'll
I think I do now. I think I do. So are you gonna get your title back? Like,
I mean, I hope so. That would be nice. I've had a fair few titles.
how'd you lose it, bro?
Got attacked from behind like a fucking coward.
Really? That bastard.
Yeah, I know.
What's his name?
Bullshit. It was Jared Slate and Felix Young, dickheads.
Oh, bro. So you're gonna get that back or
You know what's
what?
even worse? You know what's even worse?
What?
Jared Slate's the guy who pulled my cock out. Yeah.
What?
You have to-
Jared, bro.
And 4 years later, dickhead cost me a championship.
What the fuck? We should get him on here and just start like a full feud, eh? Like,
my
Yeah, nah,
gosh.
that's bullshit. I mean, he's 6'4" and, you know, huge, so
What?
really?
yeah.
What has been?
Sounds like your type, Sammy.
What has been your biggest challenge in the
Jesus.
Yeah, in the,
Cock out.
I suppose in the. You have to tell
Getting
us
it back in.
if we have not. I can't even remember if we've said the story on the podcast or not. If we haven't, we need to fucking say it.
What is it?
What his story about his cock out?
Oh, that was
No, that's a
absolutely on
highlight
there.
reel, right?
Did
there.
we already? Have we already done it?
Yeah, that was on here.
Oh, I wasn't even sure. I've had 2 glasses of wine. I wasn't sure if that was offline or online.
Just how mun today.
The biggest challenge is sticking to it.
Oh,
It's like all other kind of disciplines. The biggest challenge is when things get shit, because you'll go through periods,
Yes.
where
100%.
things aren't clicking, where you're not progressing, where your performances aren't there, and not packing it up and not quitting and just thinking, all right, no, I just need to push harder or just need to
Yeah.
change something about what I'm doing. That's been the hardest thing. That and Jared Slade being a dickhead.
Yeah, because you guys get good characters and bad characters because you came out and you're like, the announcer's like, all right, when this guy comes on, he's a dick. Boo, that guy. And then I think for you guys, they were like, these guys are cool. Did you do a tag team when you fought, or it was
Yeah,
like a
so-
4-on-4? You were
Yeah,
like the main event?
Yep. So I was tag team champion. But when I fought, I'm not sure which day you went. 'Cause we had 8 days of the Royal Show.
Oh, shit. I don't remember what
is
day
that
it
how
was.
you guys met?
No.
Oh.
I just, got a creepy DM.
Yeah.
Slid into my Instagram.
I was like, that mask was mighty good, bro. Bring her around here. I'm into that shit. I'm into Mexican guys. So, yeah, I was.
Not Mexican.
100% authentic, not Mexican.
He's got a Mexican mask. He's a Mexican wrestling style Mexican that makes you Mexican in character.
Oh, now I feel like enchiladas. All right. Dude.
Well, my family can probably make them, apparently.
Sinead enchiladas.
With sour cream.
We need a little bell.
She's so funny, bro. Like on the first episodes, like when I'd get hell drunk, sober still, by the way. Yay. You'd just see her hand, like when I'd be out of beer, like you'd just see her hand like pop up and then just be a beer can on there, be like sweat.
No, that's not even good enough, man. She's going to do that. Wear a puppet or some shit.
Yeah, well,
Like a Muppet or something. So there's, got like this puppet helping you out with more drinks. That'd be great.
that'd be
I love
amazing.
to do a montage of just like her hand like doing shit.
All the time Sinead's hand came into frame.
Yeah.
Oh, she's the best.
Mr. Sucko. Yeah.
So how do you balance that with other shit that's going on in your life? Because what you just said about like keeping to it, I think we can all draw that on, I suppose, Kayde, with you, with your podcast. I mean, there's be so many reasons that you would stop and just go, I can't be fucked doing this. Like, is it even worth the effort? Same as comedy, same as wrestling. So what's the dialogue you have with yourself?
Strict schedules. That's honestly the
You
biggest.
just stick to it, even
Just
if like
stick
your
to
cat died? Like what, like, do you know what I mean? I'm talking during challenging periods of your life. not-
your cat died.
yeah, I'm saying like
That's a very-
during your challenging periods. That's what I'm trying to say. Like there's, emotional fucking shit periods of your life where you're like,
Oh, it happens.
you know what? That can go.
It happens.
Yeah.
When my grandma passed away,
Yeah.
that was, I had a show 2
Yeah.
nights later.
Show must go on.
The show must go on.
Yeah.
And, you obviously need to take the time when when there are things that are unavoidable, say something happens, you need to sort that out, grandma passed away, there
Yeah.
are things that need to be done. There's a funeral and there are, helping pack away things and all that. You find the time for that, and then you find the time for the other things because they help each other. Keeping yourself mentally healthy makes you be able to deal with it better.
Oh,
If you
100%.
completely, withdraw from the things that bring you joy, then all you're focusing on is the negative shit.
Yeah.
And all you've got to focus on is the trauma of what's going on.
Yeah, I feel like for me, it's a bit of a physical, like withdrawal symptom that I end up experiencing because I get very like, oh, you know what, I'm done with comedy for a while because it's just too much with working full time and, not being able to go to the gym and all this other shit that I just don't do because I'm always working. But then after I have say a month where I'm not doing anything, I start actually physically aching for it. It's weird.
Wow.
Like I actually physically start feeling really joyless and really like, oh, actually it's like a tick in my neck where I need to kind of go back to writing and creating and being around, like just doing what I love. It's not even the friends or the people. I couldn't care less.
No, it's
I couldn't.
It's the
I don't
fulfillment.
do it for going out and hanging out with people on a Tuesday night. I've got enough friends I could be doing that
Yeah.
shit with. I do it because I love getting on stage and being able to tell a story that brings people joy.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's difficult when I'm super corporate. Do you know what I mean?
right.
So being super corporate and having like people like what are you doing, bro? You know what I mean? But it's kind of gotten to that point now where people have kind of seen that I'm not stopping and I keep going, so they don't really say shit anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that used to be something that I used to not embarrassed. I'd never be embarrassed, but like it'd make you question what it is what you're doing, and then like you see it for the bigger picture. Do you know what I mean? Like one day I'd love to be able to do this full time. Yeah, oh, that'd be amazing.
Absolutely.
So many cool people in the world.
Absolutely. And that goes back to asking ourselves the reason why we love what we do. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what it brings us.
Yeah.
So what does it bring you?
Fulfillment.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's,
I can imagine being on that tightrope, just about to body slam someone, got the crowd going like, yeah,
whoa,
like just
adrenaline.
lights.
You feel like a real hero.
Yeah.
It's fucked, man. You can't explain what that, kind of endorphin, what that rush feels like. Oh, it's mental. It's, and that is addictive in of itself. Absolutely. But that's, while you work towards those moments, those can't be everything, because sometimes you don't get those moments. Sometimes
chasing the dragon.
Sometimes, your lot in professional wrestling, we all work together to put together a show, to put together a narrative, and then to put together, entertainment. Sometimes your position on that show isn't the star.
Are there like real beefs sometimes?
Oh my God, dude. There are so many.
Really?
Because it's it's ego driven by nature, because you're presenting a larger than life character. And so people become hyper focused and hypersensitive to how they are being portrayed.
Yeah.
And because of that, if someone who thinks that they're being, someone who thinks of themselves as top shit, gets told your lot on the show for the next little bit is not top shit, they take it very personally. They can, obviously, we're speaking about people
abroad. Yeah,
we're speaking about people with that sort of inclination.
Okay.
So you can't constantly be chasing the highs, because if they don't come, then what's keeping you there?
Yeah.
Oh, there are a lot of byproducts of what you do that have great benefits, like being fit. And if you're fit, then that's also a, domino effect to your mental health.
Healthy body,
so
healthy
you would
mind.
probably feel, if you're not working out for a few weeks, pretty shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of really positive byproducts in the art of what you do. Not for me. I drink a lot. And I don't gym, and I eat shit, and that's comedy. You know what I mean? There's a lot of... Hey?
You did a lunge.
I did one lunge. And
I can train you. I used to be a PT.
Sprained. Yeah. Well, I can't be fucked even going to the gym. Why would I come all the way to your house?
I thought we'd live down the road, finish work, have a little workout.
I can't be bothered.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's motivation.
Yeah,
Obviously, I'm not that
that's what I'm saying.
inspiring.
There's a lot of
Shit.
Don't let the imposter syndrome creep in now, Kayde. You are.
Super inspiring, like fitness goals and shit. It's not going to happen.
Hey, you're looking good though.
Thanks.
So no drinking.
Yeah, well,
Tell us about that.
I've lost 12 kilograms since my last fight. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Well done, man.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, I'm feeling like a bit of a snack lately, to be honest.
Why are you so why have you decided to stop drinking?
Well, to put it frank, Sami, I'm a fucking animal on the piss. So
Really?
I just tend to not and it affects me for like a couple of days. Like some people can drink and their mental state is absolutely fine. They can just go and go and go. I'm not one of those people. I have to be like pinnacle of like who I am. Otherwise I just get miserable. And I kind of put the two and two together, and I just went, nah, for me, it's just not worth it. So I only have two people, my family I drink with, which will be at like Christmas time or something. So I'm going the whole year, or my best mate, Jared. Those are the only people I drink with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No, and it's not that different. Like, yeah, it like, even if I was to take anything else, like MD or like a bit of cocaine or something like that, I'd still be a fucking animal. I'd blast the whole bag. Like I just don't have any chill in anything.
Yeah.
So I've just decided, I'm like, I just, not for me. And it's my choice, whatever. And
has that been hard, like being around people that are drinking though? Or?
Yeah, because my friends are real. I've got a friend group of like 30 of us, and they're just like, if I was to describe it, it'd be like
30.
Yeah, because we're mates and mates and mates and mates, and we all get together
See, I don't know whether
for like fights.
That's too many or too little.
it's good. I need stimulation when it comes to being boisterous. So that if I was to describe those boys, it's like frat boy shit. Like they're just real bros, like real meatheads. Yeah. And I love that. I thrive in that. I love that shit.
You need that fun ego that
yeah. And just to be around your your community and stuff like that. And I love that, bro. I love that shit. So they drink quite heavily, but it's interesting. I thought them of all people would be like, oh, for fuck's sakes, you don't drink. But they were just kind of like, oh, okay, cool. Like they kind of know me now for just being different and a little weird. So they're like, yeah, you do you, bro, whatever. Absolutely. I'll get on the piss. So sweet as. Yeah. So I was pretty stoked about that.
Great. Good.
Yeah. A couple of people that I didn't expect were a bit weird about it. Like, oh, you're boring now. You don't drink. I'm like, well.
Not at all.
Shit. You know what I mean? But it's no different. I think if you're vibing and you're in a place, it's no different if you're drunk or you're not drunk.
Absolutely.
You know
what I mean? That's a new leaf for you.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to hearing more about it.
Yeah. So that's going to be pretty cool. So I wanted to ask, like in regards to, obviously you broke your shoulder, and when I look at like the wrestling feuds and stuff like that, like how intense like some of that could actually get.
Yeah.
So when I watched like when they're fighting with like actual beef and storyline, you're like more prone to accident because you're way more excited.
Yeah.
Like I'll never forget, like, because yours is for like children and shit, right, bro?
So
sometimes
different brands of different. So EPW, the main shows we do at the Claremont Showgrounds.
Yeah.
They're an 18+ oriented product.
Oh, okay. So we could come and watch.
Oh, absolutely, of course.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Get on the piss.
Yeah. Well, I won't, but you can get on the piss.
18 times 2 over here. But
yeah.
Get on the piss for both of you.
So, yeah, well, that's one thing. You never want to wrestle drunk.
Oh, no, Jesus.
No, you don't want to do that.
No. We don't drink.
Yeah, good.
We drink.
Yeah. Just to clarify, just off the other side of the road, like miss someone.
I'm down.
Yeah, because I remember watching Edge had a beef with Stitsky, who no, he didn't beef with Stitsky. Oh, he banged Kane's wife, and he was like, "It's not my fault. There's a dead baby in your uterus."
So
I was like,
what?
Oh, yeah, no, I just need to explain this storyline.
Children watch.
So, Kane is this 7-foot tall demon from hell.
Sick, by the way.
Who kidnapped and married a woman named Lita, sort of against her will, and then impregnated her. And she had a baby inside her, and another wrestler called Snitsky debuted, and he pushed Kane into Lita so that she suffered a miscarriage on TV.
But that wasn't his fault.
No, and Snitsky came out next week and said, "Hey, I'm sorry about what happened to your baby, but that wasn't my fault." And he then came out with a little baby in his arms, which he punt kicked into the crowd.
What? And then
wrestling.
Why are only the two men finding that funny and the woman's finding it mortifying?
Wrestling is a very, very distinguished art form.
Holy
and
what
that's
story.
That's a hectic story. And then he's in bed with his wife, and they're in the middle of the ring, and there's a bed in there, and he pulls out with his teeth, and he's got the undies. And then they had it's so much more for men. Like the girls have like bra and panty matches and shit.
So not anymore, thankfully. Thank fuck.
They don't do that anymore.
That's a bygone era, thankfully.
It was on the video. Yeah, because it wasn't as politically correct back then.
Yeah, and since like mid 2010s, which is still much later than you'd expect, female wrestling has now been essentially changed to be the same as male wrestling.
Right. Okay. So
female wrestlers wrestle because that's what they can do.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're not sex objects anymore. Thank fuck.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because the girl wrestlers were like hyper sexualized, like insane.
Yeah.
Like they didn't even look real.
Yeah. Oh no, they were hired through literally bikini contests. Like that's where they were hired.
There's kind of something a little bit like cool about all of this, though. It's got that real barbaric and anarchic kind of like tribal feel.
Shit! Ding, 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 ding.
You know,
that's killer.
Yeah.
No, it was very like testosterone baiting. Ooh. Like it was
instinctive.
Yeah. But it's gone from that, thankfully.
I know. I'm like a really good thesaurus, I know.
Yeah,
I'm just anarchic was. Whew.
I got that.
It's that hair. You got no tribal. She's like the girl off 3000 BC.
Or Game of Thrones or something.
Yeah. I love that movie.
Sitting on James fuck, what's his name? Jason Momoa. Fucking oath. Anyway, off topic. Yeah.
Good topic there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't have that extreme like beefs?
Oh no, Jesus!
'Cause that's
we don't do
fucking hectic.
we don't do
That is
miscarriage
sick.
stories.
Yeah, and like kicking
then
a baby
dead-
into the crowd. Like, what?
That is.
Who does that?
Boy, that's-
yeah.
that's
So like that was very much.
He was obviously a bad character.
yes,
brave.
yes, that was meant to be bad, for reference.
Yes. Yeah,
and
yeah.
and like Brothers of Destruction was sick. By
Oh,
the way,
so good.
How good
So
were they?
good. So this was the demon Kane and his brother, who's an undead mortician with lightning powers, the Undertaker.
The Undertaker. You know the Undertaker?
Well, I'm knowing about the Undertaker now.
Yeah. There you go.
Who was
yeah.
also 6'10", so they were both very, very big
Damn,
men.
how frightening.
Yeah, massive dudes.
It's like this amazing, incredible fantasy world.
Yeah. Oh,
Where your
there's this whole.
egos of all of these things you want to bring out is expressed in a
The
creative
craziest thing
platform.
about wrestling is that like it has the world that it exists in, like the canon of wrestling, of the storylines, whatever. But it's all put in front of a live crowd, so it all takes place in the real world. And it's like what is real and what isn't is often like way more of a blurred line.
Oh god.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Because he did an interview with Joe Rogan and he was just explaining what it was like the last ride and stuff like that, which was pretty interesting to see him out of character.
Yeah.
Because he had to hold that for years.
Wow.
Whereas like a guy like JBL was almost like he was out of character in character.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
JBL was, he was supposed to be this rough Texan,
Yeah.
but then he was also on Fox News doing his his stock predictions, and so they decided to integrate that into his real life, into his character on the show.
Like a billionaire
Who
Texan.
he was as a real guy became the character on the show.
Who do you think was the shittest character?
The shittest character?
Yeah, like Carlito, like a spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool.
Oh, shittest character.
He did that. He used to spit apples at people. What the fuck? Like what?
Oh, no. I reckon the shittest character, there are a couple of contenders here. There was
Hilarious.
Kaiji or whatever his name is, the
There
guy
was-
with the flame pants.
Kerwin White,
Okay.
who was a Mexican guy who his character was a stereotypical white guy.
The name is Kerwin.
Yep, and
That's
he came
your
out.
first
He
problem.
came out in like a little white polo and everything. He's like, if it's not Kerwin White, it's not Kerwin Wright.
No. Eugene was pretty bad.
Eugene was fucking atrocious.
What's
Eu-
Eugene?
That was decremental.
Eugene was a developmentally delayed wrestler who
Are you kidding?
You start.
didn't have the highest cognitive skills, but he'd watched so much wrestling that he was like Rain Man for wrestling, so he could emulate all the famous wrestlers, and so he was really.
I
good
didn't
at
know
wrestling.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's actually quite clever.
That was-
So
that was his
cool.
shtick.
There's
That's
so
actually
much
really
thought
clever.
behind that.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Wow.
It started off cool, then just turned into, haha, he's slow. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
that's how it kind of goes.
Yeah, that one.
Wow, what a world.
But God, yeah, no, there have been some shocking ones. There was Meat. Meat was terrible.
What about this new Rey Mysterio guy that has the Rey Mysterio things backwards, wears tights?
Wait, say that again?
There's another Rey Mysterio guy that they had for a while. It was like Rey Mysterio 2.0. He had a mask and it was like back like, it was like that. Tight pants.
Sin Cara?
Yeah, Sin Cara.
Oh God, that was terrible.
Yeah, no,
That
just
was awful. So
yeah.
he was like the top wrestler in Mexico at the time, and they brought him into the WWE, and then they just
Oh, he was legit.
yeah, he was really really good, but then he refused to learn English, and so he couldn't really work with anyone in WWE. So they
Oh,
had to
that's dumb.
keep putting him against like the same Spanish speaking other wrestlers so that he could do anything. And then like he was a bit of a prima donna who like he once like jarred his finger mid match and like asked for the medic instead of just like keeping going. It's like, dude, come on.
I broke my thumb on stage.
You've jarred your finger, bro. You'll be fine.
I broke my thumb on stage stripping. And I did because I used to snowboard, I used to be able to do flips off the stage. So I did like a forward flip 180. And I used to do this like forward flip 180 thing off the stage. And one time I landed and I like jarred my finger like this. And then I knew it was bad because I was taking off my G-banger, like, and my finger just bent all the way backwards like this. And I was like, fuck, that's not good, eh?
That's not what you want.
Show must go on. My
Oh
mum
my
was at that show.
Gosh, Kayde.
Bro, my mum came and watched that show, eh? It was so fucking ruthless, bro. It was so ruthless, man.
I'm trying to imagine what would happen if I said to my mom, "Hey, can you come watch me strip?"
Oh, yeah, she loved it. She was like, oh, yeah, there you go, my little performer. There you are. But yeah, no, there was some, there was some rubbish ones
wrestling
out there as
characters.
well. Yeah, like Like I dig. Like there were some good ones that were bad, like Kurt Angle and like
Kurt Angle was great.
he was legit, you know. John Cena, I liked his intro music, but I didn't like. Have you seen all this weird shit he's doing? Like he speaks like fluent Chinese and stuff now.
Fluent Mandarin.
What?
It's fucking no. He like learned. So WWE was wanting to expand it to China, so John Cena went out of his way to learn Mandarin as part of the expansion because he's just one of those workaholic type people as well.
Yeah.
Mental. The Rock was cool. Rock's cool. Triple H was like amazing. His physique when he'd come out like this, like boom, like he was just like built like a giant triangle, just shaped at his dick, bro. Like he was just fucking like just this monster of a human.
So your character's good, really.
Right now,
Yeah, right. I love that.
I've been through phases of being less good.
Yeah,
which
okay.
is a lot more fun.
Incredible.
It's so much
And
more
how
fun
do
being a bad
these
guy.
like fictional sort of pathways of where the character may go develop, and when is that implemented onto
So-
performance?
You discuss it ahead of time, and it's like, all right, this is how the story is going to go. We're going to have X, Y, Z happen.
Yeah.
And then that's going to be a trigger for the character to turn, whether that's, you build towards, say, a partner turning on another partner, or you
Amazing.
you build towards,
But you would need to confide in
it's like a
characters
drama.
that are involved in it.
yep.
It's like a full drama.
It's a constantly
sick.
involving kind of mix of all the different characters interacting with one another.
Yeah.
And so, allegiances change, things change. It's really interesting how it
Amazing.
works.
Wow.
So when we were talking about Kane, have you choke slam someone before?
Yeah, no shit.
You have.
Of course.
Does it hurt?
Do you want to find out?
What? You'd choke slam me?
I don't know. Are you a coward?
Fuck no, let's go. Choke slam the fuck out of me. Let's do this. So what?
Do it.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, let's
Fuck
go.
it.
Bring it on.
Yeah, let's do it.
Wait, what am I doing?
I don't know. I just want to see what was
Call 000 just
what's going to happen. Are you serious? All right.
bring it on.
Let's do it. All right.
What am I doing?
I'm just going to
Okay, go around.
past you. Can you just commentate just what is about to happen?
Oh my god.
I'm about to find out if wrestling hurts as much as they say it is. Fucking. I'm Kayde Wilkie and this is Wilkoz World.
I'm actually afraid now. I'm going to say boys will be boys, but Kayde has decided to be what? Choke slammed? Yeah. Is that what you just said?
Pretty self-explanatory. Choke, slam.
Can we see a little bit of the Cano character?
So if I'm being so do you kick me or like how?
No, straight up just.
Oh.
wait, I got this.
Oh.
Oh, that does hurt.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
That actually really fucking. I landed on the mic. There you go.
Holy
broken. I need a new table.
Nah, you're fine.
Oh, jeez. Can you see the damage?
Just put it from the other side.
Back.
Oh my god.
Oh, man. I was thinking we'll wrap it up. Oh, back hurts. I feel like a fucking penguin. Oh, Jesus, look at the state of that desk, bro. I fucking went through that shit, man.
So did you have fun?
That
was fucking epic, bro. What the hell?
Wow.
Yeah, wow. I'm in shell shock. That actually, we broke the table.
Yeah.
That's the ladsiest thing ever. And my flower got knocked over.
Ah, shit. We will rebuild.
It actually, it actually did really hurt. So
That
Yeah.
I landed on the mic
physique
thing.
and that even just that whole action was like perfect. I felt like I just saw you guys in a movie.
did I go how high?
You went like he just had so much control of your whole body. He just picked you up and just slammed you down with like one hand.
It was pretty cool. I've never choked more wrestling than that. You the boys. Right, it's been so good to have you on the podcast, man. Now I need to get a new table, so that's a thing. Well, I might just rock it like that just because, like,
dude, it's part of the aesthetic now.
yeah, just broken. It's like, it looks like a canoe, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you just canoed my table.
Hey, you're into snowboarding. This is a pretty sick slope.
Yeah, sick, bro.
I
That's
loved seeing
awesome.
your face, Kayde. It was amazing. I saw the
like,
expression. Nah, it was more just like, I don't think you expected what was about to happen to you.
No, I went
Yeah.
pretty fucking high, man.
And it
I'm
went
not gonna
pretty
lie.
fast as well.
I was hell worried I was going to hit into the the fan.
Yeah, but you didn't, and that was fucking sick.
Yeah,
that was
that's killer.
smooth. We have to come see you.
Yeah, we're gonna come
Absolutely.
watch
Where can we find you?
So follow EPW Perth on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. So EPW Perth, or myself, Cano Wrestler, DELCANO Wrestler on all social media.
Hell yeah, I'm on
Hell
it now.
yeah. Guys, thank you so much for walking Wilko's world. It's been sick. Peace. All right, jump on that one, eh?